the Battle of Buna, and we were one part of it. And it was the first land victory in the South Pacific by American troops. And that was the Battle of Buna on New Guinea. On Guadalcanal, the battle was still going on over there. And that ended about another month or so later. After the Battle of Buna, then another regiment came in, and they overlapped us and went on up the coast, and we got a chance to sit back and relax a little bit. But we were still, in all that time, running patrols. And you'd go out in the jungle, and it's a funny thing. Boy, you'd always find a bunch of Japs someplace in the jungle. 2, 3 of them in a little bunch or something, or maybe more, but you'd always find a few of them. And I remember on some of those patrols that you'd see some of these fellas, and they were starving to death. And of course, we didn't help them because they had some small caves along the coastline. And as we ran patrols, we'd always look in the caves and see who's there. And most times it'd be empty, but every once in a while, you'd find a dead Jap in there with a can of bully beef, corned beef, that some GI had thrown in there, but before he let it go, he ran a bayonet through it. And when poor Japs were so darn hungry, they'd eat anything, and they died of ptomaine poisoning. Because you've then penetrated a sealed can, and the bully beef is exposed to the elements, and being so hot up there, the meat inside of it would start rotting fast. So that causes ptomaine. Sooner or later, some Jap would stumble in there, and next patrol that comes by finds a dead Jap. There was an incident March 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 1943. And you notice those dates came out really easy because I remember it so well. March 3rd, I'm sitting up on the north coast of New Guinea after the battle, and all of a sudden I see a large flight of airplanes coming out and flying northeast. And I'm wondering, what the heck is that? What's going on somewhere? I had no idea what it was, and I'm just watching. And in the morning, I see these planes go out, hundreds of them. And then in the afternoon, around 3 o'clock, you'd begin to see them come back. And you'd see them come back smoking. And if you had a chance, someone would come close enough, and you could see some battle damage to the plane. You could hear the motors sputtering. And they'd pass overhead, heading for Port Moresby on the other side of the island. They had to go over the mountain range. But you could see this. And you knew that something big was going on, especially when the next morning, on March the 4th, here comes another couple of big flights up out there going the same direction. And what happened was, this was the Battle of the Bismarck Sea. And the Air Force had found a 20 enemy ships bringing Japanese troop reinforcements a little further up the coast of New Guinea. And the third morning, you see another flight going out there, and they completed the mission. 20 ships, I believe they sank 18 and damaged the other 2. And I don't know how many Japanese troops went down with all of this, but a major amount, thousands. But that was something to see. I was sitting on the coast watching these planes and then watching them come back. Bad for the Japs, but good for us.